Welcome, Salina and Saline County voters. My name is Janet Hansen, and I've had the privilege of speaking with the 7 candidates that want to run for your USD 305 Salina School Board. School board members represent the voice of the public, and they provide guidance, oversight, and vision for the districts that they serve. Salina area voters will elect 4 candidates to the school board. I am happy to have you join with us tonight, but what I really want you to do is to remember to register and to vote. Your last day to register is October the 15th, and of course, General Election Day is Tuesday, November the 5th. Don't forget to vote. You can find information about your registration status and your polling site at www.voteks.org. Check it out. Welcome, ALLAN LYTTON. We're going to get right to the questions because I feel like that is the best way for the voters to get to know who you are. We're going to start with that basic one. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Well, I was born in Augusta, Kansas, and I went to schools there at the public school system in Augusta and graduated from Augusta Senior High, and then went on to college and graduated in 1984 from Wichita State University with a bachelor's degree with secondary education, which I, for the next 16 years, from 1984 to 2000, I was a school teacher in a little town called Mineola, Kansas, and which is 20 miles south of Dodge City. In that time period there, I coached girls basketball, track, I coached football, was a quiz bowl coach. I did a little everything. Student council sponsor, things like that. So
especially in those little districts,
yes,
you wear many hats.
You wear many hats. And then while I was there, I got into a little bit of politics. I was 1994. I became a city council member, and until 2000, when I moved. It became a trooper is when I changed careers. I want to back up a little bit. I did meet my wife. She's a school teacher also. We met down there. The only time I was a boss was when I was the head coach, and she was my assistant coach in girls basketball, and that's the only time I've been the boss for about 1 year. So, and then we got married, and then things changed. But yes, and then I went on to change careers to become a Kansas Highway Patrol trooper, and I was stationed in Russell County for 5 years, and then I moved to Hayes and was stationed in Hayes for another 4.5 years, and then I was able to get a promotion here in Salina at the Training Academy, and then I'm now currently the captain at the Training Academy here at Salina. So I'm technically still in education. Believe it or not, it's still an educational purpose for us there at the Training Academy.
Oh yeah, very much so.
So
probably your education degree had a little bit to do with that.
I think
too.
so. Yes.
Yeah.
It did.
And is your wife still involved in education?
She is. She's a teacher here in Salina School District at the 305, and then my oldest daughter, is also a teacher here.
Oh, great.
So,
that's great. Yeah, teaching seems to run in families
it does.
sometimes, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So that leads into my next question, which you've already answered a little bit, but what is your connection to Salina Public Schools?
Well, I want to say that ever since I've always enjoyed kids. I think that's why we open the schools, is for the kids. It's about teaching the teachers and the administrators and things like that, but it's for the kids. That's what we're here for.
Yep.
And that's what my belief has always been. So I've always been a supporter of the schools. I love going to the football, basketball games. I love going to the plays. Love seeing the band play. I love all that, and I do that, and I support the schools that way. So I think it's very important that we have good people be on the school board.
Right.
So we can, this is our future. The kids are our future for the next 50 years.
It's true.
And we're not going to be here. We need to make sure we have that foundation for those kids. So that's why I'd like to make sure I can keep that foundation going.
Okay. And so, did your children attend Salina Public Schools?
They did not. They grew up in Hayes. They graduated from Hayes High School.
Very good.
Yes. So
but came here to teach, right?
one of them did. Yes,
yeah,
ma'am.
that's exactly
Yes.
right. So, what do you see, and you've talked a little bit about this, but I'm going to kind of ask you to kind of broaden out on that. What is the role of public schools in Kansas?
Well, I think the role of public schools is to, we want to graduate good good people that can be successful in the community. And I don't care if they go back into college. It's not about going to college. It'd be nice if they can go to college, but we need to graduate kids that are productive in society. And that can be a trade school. I know we had to partner with Salina Tech. And I'm aware of that because I serve on the board down there with the police and fire part of that. And so I think it's very important that we have good schools so we can have productive citizens and good kids, good people coming out of here. So I think it's very important.
All right. In your view, what is the role of a school board member?
The role of a school board member and serving as a councilman, and I also served in by the way, the Hays City Commission for 2 years. I think it's you are there for the support of the superintendent. You have a superintendent that runs the school for you.
Yes.
You're there for the policies, making the policies and things like in the oversight, but you're not there to get down in the weeds. There's no way you can get down in the weeds. And so you have good people. That's why we hire good people to run things for you. And you're there, just like I said, to make sure the things run smoothly and you support the staff. That's what a school board member to me is, support the staff.
Okay.
And that's the reason why I want to run. I want to make sure that supports. I think we have a very good superintendent we just hired.
Yes.
So I've gotten to know Lynn. So yes, really impressed so far. Yes.
She is indeed impressive.
So
she's a great lady.
Yes.
What is your level of satisfaction with funding for Kansas Public Schools?
I think the funding it could be better, but I think right now we're on the right track. We've got some funding that's coming in. I think that it's the elephant in the room. You know, when you have over half of the state taxes go to education, you have a lot of people that get involved in that. And I think that we've got to remember that this, again, I go back to this, but this is our future we're talking about. We've got to make sure our kids have a great future. We've got to do everything we can to make sure our kids have everything they can to be successful in life. And so funding is very important. I think I'd like to see more funding get into the teachers' hands personally. But there's a lot of things that go into running a school.
Yes.
I understand that.
Yes.
There's a lot of things. It's not a lot of people don't understand. It's just we think we're just throwing money at, but there's a lot of things that go involved in behind the scenes. And if you want good schools, you've got to have good administrative staff. You've got to have good janitors, custodial staff. You've got to have all that. It's just not teaching and administrators. It's everything.
So one of the really common things that you sometimes hear get bandied about is well, what about those people who are non-contact? And so non-contact people are sometimes librarians.
Yeah, well, they're important too. Trust me on that when I say that.
Yeah.
Everybody is important. I don't care who they are. I can be in the captain of the training center. I have a lot of support staff. I have very good people that are underneath me. I'm not successful unless I have good people underneath me.
Yeah.
I can tell you that right now. If you look at everybody that's been successful, they've had somebody in their life or somebody that's underneath them that made them successful. And I can tell you right now, my wife is very much the reason why I think I've been successful, but I have a good wife.
Yes.
I mean, she's the reason why I'm where I am today. I can tell you that. So the support staff is very important, and no matter what you do.
Yep, it is. It is. And sometimes we kind of forget that.
We do forget that.
Yeah. So you've kind of already spoken to this. Do you have any thoughts about how you would change or refocus funding? And I guess I'm thinking about the state funding.
I don't know if I don't. There's a lot to learn about that. I don't know a lot about I mean, I know where the funding. There's a lot to it. There's a big pie there, and so I think the funding. I think we need to get it into the schools themselves, and not maybe just. I mean, I think there is wasting money no matter what in state government. There is. No matter what division you have or what agency you are under, there's a little waste. So I think we could trim that, but I think it needs to get into where we are teaching the kids. The kids are the most important thing in the funding. When we get to the funding, we need to make sure they have the technology because that's changing every day. We need to make sure they have the technology. We need to have good teachers, and I think we do here in USD 305.
I think we do.
Yes.
Do you have any concerns about recruitment and retention of teachers since you know a teacher?
Yes. I think that once the teachers get here, they stay. But I think we need to be able, and I'm not saying we're doing a bad job now, but maybe there's a way we can recruit some teachers out there. Maybe we need to think about having a recruiter. I know we have Facebook and we have Twitter and we have all that stuff, but maybe we need to have a recruit, somebody, maybe not a per se paid recruiter, but somebody that can go out and recruit some some better teachers, or not better teachers, but some good teachers. Then when we need to replace some, and it's very difficult. I think pay is a big thing, but I also think appreciation.
Yes.
I've been a teacher. I know it's nice to have a pat on the back once in a while and say, hey, good job. Maybe we can give them more planned time, things that they would really like. We need to sit down and ask, what do you want? Pay is, I can tell you pay is a good, it's somewhat, but the morale, there's a lot of things to morale. It's just not pay. It's a good working environment. Have support from people. And that's very important, is support.
I agree.
So,
I agree. Thank you very much for those comments. So, finally, what I'm going to let you do is kind of look into the camera and talk to the voters in Salina and Saline County and tell them why they should nominate you for their public school board.
Well, I think that the reason why I'm running is I want to make a difference. I was a leadership Salina graduate in 2012. I went to the Kansas Leadership Center down in Wichita, and that was about community and involvement in community. So I want to be involved in our community. I think that the reason why I'd be a good pick is because I have been a teacher. I am still basically in education now. It's kind of like being a principal in a way. And I'm very professional. I'm honest. And I'm willing to listen to the taxpayers. I'm willing to listen to people. But I want to make sure I'm not a micromanager or anything like that. I want to make sure that we have the people in there to do their job, and you let them do their job. That's what I'm here for.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.